All right, so first we have one HDMI cable that is branded Nintendo. I think it's right there. And came with the Switch originally. The dock, this lifts off. It's not designed to detach. Other generations of the dock's gate are designed to detach. Inside there you have USB-C power, USB 3 for a wired controller, and HDMI out. On the outside, you have two more USB ports for additional wired controllers, each sold separately. And I have no wired controllers in the shipment coming to you. This is the power supply. It says Nintendo on the USB-C right there. Then in here, it says Nintendo there. So, moving on. This is for the Joy-Cons. The grip has a nice texture to it. It's kind of like a silicone. And they made two versions of these by Nintendo. One that feels a lot cheaper. This is the one that feels more premium. This is the travel case. Presently over here, these are the attachments to connect to the Joy-Cons when you're holding the Joy-Cons in your hand and want to strap them to your wrist so that they're secure and you don't lose them by accident throwing them across the room or something. There's two of those in this pouch. Then here's where you can slot your cartridges so you don't have to keep them in their cases. Here's the Switch. There is no game inside there right now. Last I checked it, it had been wiped, so it's ready to be set up like a new Switch for your users, your Nintendo account. This one and this one match, and they do not have Joy-Con drift at this time. Joy-Con drift is when the joystick starts to, like, the mechanism on the inside gets stuck crookedly and causes motion in a game that it shouldn't. You can mail these into a repair service by Nintendo for free and they will repair them for you, or there are ways to take them apart and replace the mechanism on the inside so that they don't break at all. But Nintendo will not replace the mechanism on the inside with something that will not break, will not create drift. It's just a problem that all of the Switch 1 generation joysticks have, and we've sent ours in several times for repairs got them fixed. So that's a thing. And they usually get stuck with that joystick drift thing if they're like vigorously, manipulated too hard, too fast, too often. That's usually what causes that. There you go. So, Switch and travel case, the dock, the cords, and the grip for the Joy-Cons. That makes a really great second control. Over here we have a third-party dock and its power cord. This is incompatible with my Switch 2, so I'm happy to give it to y'all for free. We had this on a second television, and you plug in the power here, you have the output HDMI there, dock the Switch here. And Jude was saying that there is a specific to it. I think you have to put the Switch to sleep or turn the Switch completely off if you're not going to continue using it on this dock. and intend to move it like into handheld mode or to connect it to this dock. So connecting it is no problem, but when it comes time to disconnect it from this dock to use in handheld mode or with that dock, you have to like tell the switch to be completely off, or it'll just remain in a black screen state after being connected to this dock. So great if you have a second TV. If you don't, then just put this in a drawer somewhere for the day that maybe you do. And in the meantime, primarily stick to this dock. Over here, we have this all-in-one great grip for the Switch. And it doesn't require power, no batteries. You can plug it into USB-C here if you want to charge your Switch. And I love the D-pad on here. It has a nice clickiness to it. So very accurate for a D-pad. Nice grips on them. The one thing is that when you're finished using this with a Switch, you'll have to go into the Joy-Con settings on the Switch, and as though you are going to pair controllers. And on the menu where you pair controllers, then take the Switch out of here and then set this aside and pair it to your Joy-Cons or another kind of controller. Because as long as it's been in here and you just take it out without returning to the Joy-Con settings menu, it will not, like, I can't get it to connect to the other wireless controls. You have to first go to the Joy-Con wireless menu where you pair those while in this dock to return to like Joy-Con controllers. So good for a one-player mode in handheld. Very rugged. Then we have the games here, and you can see you have this nice big case and a cartridge. And it's a rotten shame, but they do not include manuals anymore. I miss the manuals days. I think a lot of people do. A lot of my generation misses the manuals. I did find out that this game actually has increased in value. So hold on to this, because this is actually more or less a collector's item now. And then we have one more controller here. This is a third-party pro controller of sorts. Over time, its white parts are aging and slightly changing colors, but it feels really nice in the hand. You can charge it connected to USB-C or charge it by just having it attached to the Nintendo Switch while the Switch is on. And when it's on, you get, well, it looks like the batteries are dead at the moment. No? Yeah, no, the batteries are dead. But really nice. It works really well, as you can see, attached to this in the middle, like you're using it as wireless with the Switch attached to the TV. And then on the back here, you can just slide it off like you can on the Joy-Cons on the Switch itself, and then slide these onto the Switch instead of using this one. So if you would rather use this one than this, by the feel of it, the buttons do feel different than the buttons on this unit. The D-pad is a different style altogether. It has like a more mushy sort of feel to it that I actually prefer, but is offers less precision than the D-pad on this one. This one's more clicky. And so this is great for personal taste. And if you want to know more about this one and have questions about some of its features, just talk to me. On the back here, one of the extra bonus features is these programmable buttons, so that when you are holding it like this, they don't have to do anything. But if you program them, they can act on behalf of any of the other buttons on this side or this side. So you can program this one. I like to program this one to be the plus button, which takes you into the menu, kind of like the start menu. Plus is what start menus used to be. It's now the plus menu. So I often program that to be the start menu, the plus menu. And then on this side, I often do the same thing with the minus menu. I program this to take me to the minus menu, because when you're holding this here, it looks like your thumb would reach over to that button really easily, but of all the button options you would frequently reach, this is the farthest out of reach. So when your fingers are already here, it can just click that for you. It's great. So that's everything, guys.